Okay, I've removed the 4 screws and unplugged the PPM receiver and the cable at the other end. It plugged into this connector on the board, and this entire tray is loose. So now I can thread the Velcro through. Brilliant. Awesome. Another note, these are the little screws that just came out. I put the others back in already, and there is a very small washer on each of these screws. Make sure you put the washer back on, don't lose it. Not sure if that's metal. Make sure you put it back on. It is a metal washer, but I think it has probably a lot to do with vibration loosening the screw potentially. So I would definitely make sure you don't lose those washers and make sure they're on the screws when you put them back in. So all I need to do now is find the Velcro. Now there it is. And remember the orientation. Run this back through. Alright, so just make a loop like that. Make one tail a bit longer than the other so that it'll go over the battery but not be a problem. Let me put a battery in there. This is the thickest battery. This is the 1150 milliamp hour. And then there'll be potentially, worst case, it'll be this piece of packing foam that's very stiff. And the camera. And so it will be something like that. So what I want to do is make sure I can fly this with just the battery. Fly it without the camera or with the camera. And so I can see with the camera that's going to be a good length of Velcro. And without the camera and without the pad, that will be a problem because that's not going to work. So what I need to do is I'm just going to pull this back down through. I'm going to get the thinnest battery, which is the standard battery, the 800 milliamp hour. Put that in. I'm going to hold this Velcro right like I'm going to hold the Velcro so that it's just at the end of the battery and pull off the slack. So I end up with something like that. That's a little bit too long. There, that looks perfect. Not sure what I'll do with this tail when I'm flying it with just this small battery. Not sure what I'll do. I'll deal with that later because I know it has to be this long. Maybe I can make a way to tie it back, or I could just put a loop in it like that. Maybe I'll do that. Okay, onward. Let's put this tray back in. Remember, these inner screws go in firmly. They're quite tight. And this screw is very difficult to get to under this connector. I cannot push the screwdriver through those pins. I have to come in at an angle. Fortunately, it's Phillips. I have to come in at an angle very carefully. Should be able to do this. Yep. Nice and tight. Alright. So this is ready for quick check here. And we will try the small battery first. That is just fine. I can't move it now either, so it's good to know. With the thicker battery, doing the assembly here with the camera and the pad to check, make sure the thickest will also work. Looks like I'm going to have to start the camera after I connect the battery, put the battery in the tray, connect it, actually connect the battery, put the battery in the tray, add the foam, and set the camera on. Here, after I've started the camera, I can come around here with the Velcro. Now it's very likely that the air coming down from the props is going to pull this off. So what I will have to do is cut that shorter. Just trim it short. And then it should be no problem. Just make sure you don't cut part of the quad away. Alright. So I think that is going to be very good. It's not very rigid right now, but I think on this foam I will probably put some Velcro, some sticky back on the NH battery and the other type, probably the loops on the battery and probably the hook type on the foam. And I may do the same thing with the camera and the foam, I'm not sure yet. So next step is to remove all this and put the LEDs back on. Of course, since I marked these LEDs, I can set the quad upright, and this is front and left, so I can take this one that is the left, was the left LED. I know that is going to go here. There's a couple of very small holes, and you can just insert the leads into the holes. And once you get them aligned, it'll slip right in. To make this easier, I'm going to get the Velcro out of the way. Alright, so that did slip into the two sockets. And then make sure that this groove and this LED bezel is seated in the plastic housing. And this little piece with the little arch goes over that same bezel and snaps down. Make sure I'm aligned here. Yeah, that looks good. That should pop through on this side. And that did not work. Okay, there are small slots there, so I will be pushing this on. I'm going to have to take the screwdriver and push it toward the camera a little bit to seat it. This is really difficult. I'm not sure what's wrong.